welcome everybody to the Latin Nerds Network. My name is Jose, and this is my review for Gen V on a new series starting soon on Amazon Prime. And I normally say this kind of reviews for our Sunday shows called The Watch List. We're here every Sunday. Me and my co-host Chewy, we review all the shows, films, documentaries that get released on streaming. We'll give you our recommendations or non-recommendations as the case may be. And we also let you know what's coming out so you guys can create your very own watch list for yourselves. Right here every Sunday. But we're taking a 2-week hiatus as I'm going to be on vacation. We'll be back on October 15th on the next show. So subscribe not only to get the best in reviews, but also for the watch list where you can check out all the reviews of all the TV streaming stuff for you guys. If you're ever in a position where I don't know what to watch, that's what we're here for. We'll let you know what's on, what you should avoid, etc., depending on your tastes. But that being said, I'm doing a review today of a TV show because I got a chance to see this on the big screen. They got shown a couple of the episodes. I know Amazon's dropping 3 of them later this week, and there'll be a weekly release. Of course, Gen V, if you guys are familiar with The Boys, but this is a spinoff of that. And I love The Boys. It's one of my favorite shows on Amazon. I like this take on the superhero genre, which has gotten kind of stale, and they've kind of given us a deconstruction of the superhero genre, right? Making it clearly a much more mature show nonetheless. A lot of sexual, things going on, very gory, and I absolutely love it. It's very funny. Butcher and the Gang, of course, Homelander. Fantastic show. I absolutely love it. So there's been a spin-off, obviously raises expectations, of course. And expectations, listen, it's the breeding ground for disappointment, right? The higher the expectations, the more likely you are to be disappointed. And with a show like The Boys, I'm thinking, how is this going to measure up to something like that? Because it's so good. But you know what? I got to say, at the end of the day, is this as good as The Boys, at least thus far? No. Do I see it reaching those heights? I don't think so. But that being said, I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. It's a really, really good show. It's definitely something in the world of The Boys. A lot of cameos in here. And this story, I like to hear because this story gives us something different than we're seeing from The Boys, right? But still maintaining that tone, that graphic nature, over the top and interesting sexual situations. There's one in here, I believe, in the first episode, which was amazing. It really was. It was actually very fun to watch. Definitely not for the kids, I'll tell you guys right now. But if you're a fan of The Boys, you'll feel right at home with this show in terms of its tone. But here we're focusing more on teenagers, right? These particularly these kids who are soups, of course, who are now going into a university, Godwin University, I think is what it's called. I may be mispronouncing that, but whatever. You have Clancy Brown, who's I guess the dean of the school, whatever the case is, heads the school. And there's one girl in particular who obviously had a traumatic experience when she found out what her powers were. She can manipulate blood and all that, so it's very unusual and kind of interesting, but something tragic happens eventually. Years later, she ends up being accepted into the school, and her dream to be in criminology, of course, wants to be part of the 7. Who doesn't? If you're a suit, that's the goal, right? And then she's got some obstacles. She befriends some of the cool kids, a couple of them, one being the golden boy, who was like the #1 rated student in the school. He's on his way to go to the 7 and to come be a part of the 7. Situation happens, he goes a little bit nuts, things go awry, and now she's kind of forced into the limelight, if you will, unexpectedly. And there's also a mystery unfolding of the events. I don't want to spoil anything, but events that occur leading her to be prompted into that role. A lot of mystery there. Of course, we know Vought Industries, they're behind out of it, pulling the strings and all that, etc., etc. So the story centers around that, so it's a little bit different. And I really enjoyed it. Humor-wise, it's got some good humor. It took about 30 minutes or so for the show to really get going and for me to, kind of find its voice. And once they got into it, you're like, okay, now I know where the show is going. It isn't like, the college years of Saved by the Bell and all that, which I'm a big Saved by the Bell fan. Zach Morris, AC Slater, et cetera, Kelly Kapowski. Neither here nor there, I digress. But no, this is definitely one that I think really comes close to something from The Boys by giving us something different. And that's what I really enjoy about it. It's a lot of fun. Again, the interesting powers some of these students possess, the mysteries building up, and what the show, it maintains what made The Boys so interesting, right? Where it's so topical with, dealing with, gender identity, and, obviously racism, and, branding and social media, all these things incorporated, that big corporations a la here Vaughn controlling the narrative and things like that go on with people, part of the discussion, the zeitgeist, if you will, of course, in our culture here in the States. So it's a very relevant show, hitting on those topics, and hitting in a way, it's not really hitting you over the head, but it really seamlessly flows with the nature, the narrative of the show, which I really enjoy. Plus, we get all the cool shit that The Boys type of show should give you. So in all, it's a big win. It's a big one. I'm happy with it. I really enjoyed it. It's great. Again, not as good as The Boys, but come on, that's a high bar that's been set. What are you gonna do? But I absolutely guys recommend to go definitely watch it. If you are gonna watch it, which I'm sure you will, worries aside, it's definitely a worthy entry into the world of this series, right? The world that is being built by The Boys and Vought Industries and the Seven and all that. So it's really, really cool. I'm looking forward to see what happens next on the show. They give us a little trailer of what was happening, some scenes coming up. It looks bonkers. So yeah, big win. I'm looking forward to episode 3 to catching when it gets released in a couple of days. If you guys see it, check it. Let me know if I'm wrong, you agree, disagree with what I'm saying here. Again, don't forget to check us out on the watch list every Sunday, starting in a couple weeks. We're coming back on air, but you can check out all the shows. They'll give you recommendations and stuff that's already been out, what you guys should be watching. And of course, as always, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies or watch TV and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.